in a digital age where we have constant access to information that our ancestors would have like killed to have. And for you to waste this opportunity on scrolling through Instagram and giving into short form content is a complete disgrace. It is a waste of your time. It's a waste of your parents' potential opportunity they had for you. And it's a waste of your own life. So utilize this time we're bought in correctly and start learning what you want to learn. You don't need to go university anymore. You don't need to go down the education system. What you can do is you can utilize the vastness of information on the internet to get whatever you want, learn a skill you want, learn to optimize your body, learn whatever it is you want, whatever you desire, wherever you want to be in 5-10 years time. You can re-engineer that, and then you can start sculpting it through the lens of the information you consume on social media or through like YouTube or books, whatever it may be. And if you're not learning constantly, if you're not spending a substantial amount of your time trying to improve yourself, then you're going to fall behind, because there's people out there that will. There's people out there that won't settle at working a 9-to-5 job. They won't settle at just improving themselves slightly on the side. There's people out there that are digging in the trenches and constantly working on themselves, constantly improving, and constantly making sure they're consuming the right information and applying it in the correct way. And the longer you sit in inaction, the longer you choose to ignore and you give into the instant gratification of TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, the more you give into these, the worse your attention span is going to get, and the less you're going to be able to focus on actually improving yourself and learning the skills that you want to learn. So I think like an important thing to keep in mind is what is the competition doing? When I'm sat here scrolling through Instagram at 3 a.m, not getting proper sleep, getting all the blue light radiating into my eyes, causing my cortisol to spike, so I'm not sleeping properly, affecting my performance the next day. When you go on like Pornhub and TikTok and like pretty much consume all this instant gratification, all this stuff that you know you shouldn't be doing and is really bad for you, what is the opportunity cost of that? How is that going to affect your life? How is that going to affect the life of others around you? How is it going to affect your future you? And also, what are the other people that are competing against you doing? What are the people who have gone bed early going to be doing the day after? They're going to wake up, they're going to maybe meditate, they're going for a walk, they're going to go to the gym, they're going to work on their business. And you're not going to be able to do this because you've ruined your focus and your attention with instant gratification. So utilize the time that we're in. It's an amazing time, and there's so much dogma about it that we live in like the worst time ever. That people now are so consumed by media that we have no personality. And all this has its downfalls. With everything good, there's bad. That's the yin and the yang. But you need to utilize the yin and the yang correctly. You need to look at the stuff that it's good for. Yeah, obsessive social media usage can cause you to feel like you don't have as much self-worth. It can cause you anxiety, depression. But if you're utilizing social media for what it's for, what it's good for, whilst your competitors aren't, then you're just going to excel in whatever you want to excel at. So really focus on where you're spending your time and how you're utilizing the information that we have available to us. So a couple of tips I use is I watch longer form content on YouTube. I no longer watch 5-10 minute videos. I will digest podcasts and hour-long videos, and what I'll do is I'll rather get a bit of paper and write notes as I go, or I'll get the notes app up and just take notes alongside it on my laptop. And what this is doing is I'm treating it like a university lecture. We no longer have to go and sit in a lecture and pay the government to be part of a university. We don't have to be an institute like that anymore. We have a university on our laptop right here. So that's one thing I like to do. I like to watch a lecture or watch a long form video and then articulate what I'm watching into my own words. When I'm doing this, when you're articulating the information that you're consuming into your own words, you're not just remembering it, you're developing an understanding of how that relates to your life and how you can apply that later on. One thing the education system teaches us is that if you remember this and then write in the exam, you pass. So they don't teach you to understand things, they teach you to remember. When this is a problem, because remembering something and actually truly knowing what that thing is and understanding how it works and operates is completely different. And the more you clearly understand things, the better you can apply them and the more effective you're going to be. So that's like the first tip I do, is watch longer form content and take notes on it. Second is create content, create a personal brand, put your thoughts out there, because we live in a time now where we have access to pretty much every person on the planet through the internet, through YouTube, through Instagram, through Facebook. And if we can utilize this correctly as content creators, we can find people who relate to us, who are similar to us, who have the same insecurities, the same anxieties, the same problems. And we can create content for their pain points. A bit of advice for this is teach 3 steps behind. So you develop certain understandings of things, whatever it may be in your life, right? Whether that's an understanding of football, and you're really into football and you watch a load of football content and read a load of football content, and you know more about football than the average person. There you are, make content about it. Make content for the average person. Teach 3 steps behind. Whether that's the gym. What about if you've been in the gym for a couple of years and you developed a semi-good physique, like I have? I'm not shredded. I'm not absolutely massive. But I've got quite a good physique for how long I've been training. I've only been training 1.5 years, coming up to 2 years. And I've completely transformed my physique and I feel very optimized in my health. So there we are. I need to teach 3 steps behind. I need to teach my younger self. And if you can monetize this correctly, and if you can actually create content in a way that's going to allow you to talk about the things you're interested in and allow you to make content for the pain points of your younger self, you're going to be so fulfilled and so happy, because these are things you've actively pursued. These are things you've gone out and actually wanted to improve. So starting a personal brand is probably the best, most fundamental way you can live a fulfilled life now. Or a fulfilled career. Obviously, it's not the only way. There's businesses to be started. There's maybe more lucrative ways to make money and more proven ways. But this is an insane opportunity we have right on the tip of our fingers to talk about something we're passionate about and monetize it to people. So what are a few strategies you can use to monetize? And I'm going to tell you my strategy, or how I plan to monetize and how I plan to make a business out of this. I'm currently reading a book called How to Make Money from What You Love by Graham something. I'm not sure what his last name is. And what he says in there is you first want to bombard people with content. Give people as much free value as possible. Over deliver in your value. So what does the younger you want to see? Define what the younger you's problems were and work on that and think, how can I create content to solve the younger me's problems? And then over deliver. Throw so much free content out there that you just constantly giving them value, giving people information that is useful to them. And then once you've built up a following, which might take 4, 6, 8 months, a year, however long it is, once you've built up a substantial following of people that are followers for you, that really appreciate the advice you give, then you can monetize. Then you can offer coaching. Then you can offer online courses. And this isn't you being a salesman. This is you offering people value. That's what the lens I'm looking for. I'm not trying to sell people anything. All I'm doing is offering people value. And eventually I'm going to ask for just a little bit of money in return for how much value I'm giving them. And I'll make the product that I sell so good and so value driven that it is a no-brainer. This person looks at that product and goes, I have to buy that, because that is just completely incomprehensible how much value is in there for the price. And you need to make it a no-brainer for people. People need to look at that service you're selling, look at that product and think, money's not even an issue, because that is going to give me value. It's going to transform my life. And once you've given the free value, once you've created so much content out there that you've built trust in people, people will see that you're value driven, that you're not trying to rip them off. Because if you're just trying to rip people off, eventually you'll get caught out and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel fulfilling. But if you're just trying to offer people value, if you're really trying to help people and bring them up and make them successful, if you care about the people that subscribe to you and the people that listen, then you're going to give value. You're going to be value driven. And the more value driven you're going to be, the more money that's going to come your way. Another thing is if you're selling, is to focus on transformations. This obviously comes down the line, but this can be even in your marketing as you're recording the videos. What you can do is speak in transformations, speak in stories. At the start of your videos, always talk about a transformation that relates to the topic that you're talking about. So I'll sometimes talk about social anxiety, and I'll tell my story of how I started and how I ended up here. I'll put a transformation in people's minds. That is in their mind that this is someone who is relating to their story, who has been through similar problems and has got to where he wanted to get. And if this person's here, if they're socially anxious right now, you can take them through that mini transformation. They can envision that in their mind. You can instill belief in them that they can make this transaction. They can get to the point where they're confident. And they're going to be more trusting of you. They're going to be more motivated. They're going to be inspired. And they're going to be more engaged. So all of this is a transformation. You're selling transformations. You're offering transformations. Not a product, not a service, transformations. That is the way to look at it. And if you really focus your product, if you focus your service or your content on transforming people's lives, you will go so far, because like, what better could you do than that? And even if you are doing it for selfish reasons, like you just want to make money, which obviously we all do. I want to make money, but for me, it comes down as a core purpose. This is what I'm into anyway. I like self-improvement. I like meditating. I like studying the mind psychology. I like fitness. So I'm going to talk about this stuff, and I love helping other people. And if I can make money doing that, then that is amazing. That's sweet. I love that. It means I don't have to go and work a 9 to 5 job, or it means I don't have to work in retail no longer. I can do something I'm passionate about, and then I can offer more value to people. And if you're with this mindset, you'll go so far, because the more you chase money, eventually you'll get caught up in the pursuit, and you'll rather lose fulfillment, you'll rather lose drive, passion, or customers will figure you out. But if you have your mind driven on helping people, and you push your content to be so value driven that it's going to help people all the time, then paradoxically, the money will come to you. So utilize this time period we have correctly. You can do whatever you want. You can be whatever you want. You no longer have to give in to the 9 to 5, the system. There's ways out of this. There's ways you can utilize your time and your energy to break free of what society thinks you should be doing, what your parents think you should be doing, what the dogma of capitalism or the systematic approaches of working the rat race, a 9 to 5. You don't have to do that. You can be location independent. You can be financially free. It's all beliefs. It's all in your mind right now. And I'm starting at the bottom. I'm starting off on this journey, and I've come to the realization the last maybe couple months, after getting out of Cornwall and going traveling, that it's all in my mind. I've just got to put in time and effort and be productive and be constantly willing to learn and offering value, be value driven. And eventually it's all going to come off for me, and I will get where I want to go. So you don't have to be in the system. Utilize the time period we're in. Don't fall into the traps of instant gratification from social media. Don't scroll through Instagram. Don't scroll through TikTok needlessly. Utilize these platforms for what they are. Is access to millions of people who could be your dream customer, who could be someone who needs to hear the messages that you've got. I think also being transparent with your customers as well. If this is the avenue you want to go down, always be transparent and show vulnerability, because that authenticity is going to relate to people, and that relatability is going to build a trust, and then that trust is going to rather convert into engagement or customers. And the more vulnerable you can be, the more you can relate to someone's problems, the more they're going to be engaged with you, the more they're going to be willing to spend money, and they're going to be willing to support you. You want die-hard fans. You want people who are like, this dude knows what he's talking about. This dude gets me. He's real. He doesn't lie. He tells the truth. He's just sharing what he's learning, and I'm really inspired by him. So I'm going to share his stuff for him. I'm going to talk about his podcast, whatever it is. I'm going to talk about it and mention it to other people. And if you can get people on your side like that, and you can constantly offering value, you're going to go a very long way. So that's it, people. Thank you very much for listening. And yeah, just utilize the time period we're in, because it's crazy. Our ancestors would have killed to be here. So make sure you work at it and don't waste this one chance you have at like a precious life, because if you get to your deathbed and you think, I never tried that personal brand, I never tried to live a life, cultivate a lifestyle that would free me from the rat race, I just fell into what the system told me, you're going to be like cut with shame and guilt. But I want to get on my deathbed and think, look, I did everything I wanted to do. I achieved everything I wanted to do. I experienced everything I wanted to experience. And then you can die excited. You can die grateful instead of being resent and scared. Because that fear of death, most of the time, is just the fear of we haven't done everything we wanted to do yet. We can't think of what is going to be like once we're dead and we don't get to finally achieve that thing that we've been dreaming about and ruminating in for so long. So go and do that. Cultivate a life that can help you do these things. Stop waiting around. Right. Thank you very much for listening, people. And I'll see you in the next video.